Welcome to the Bear Cave at the Elam Estate. I am Barry Elam Jr. and today we're going to be making the old fashioned. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start off by introducing our ingredients. We have simple syrup. This is old fashioned simple syrup. I haven't found this at many places. You can find it at Walmart. Honestly, that's the only place I have found it at. However, this one's made just for old fashioned. You can use any simple syrup that you wish to use. I just prefer this one. To me, it makes it taste better. But like I say, you're welcome to use whatever you want to use. Make your drink how you want to make your drink. I'm not one of those people that's like in the comment section talking about, nah, you didn't do it right. No, that's the way you want to make it. You make it the way you want to make it. But this is called Cocktail Artiste. You can find it over around the beer and stuff at Walmart. In my opinion, it's better for the old fashioned. We're also going to be using orange bitters. This is the most common orange bitters you can find. There's no need to introduce this company. Everybody uses this company. I don't know anybody using anything else unless maybe they make their own. But these are the best orange bitters. We're also going to be using sugar cubes. The old fashioned calls for either one big sugar cube or two small ones. I really don't like mine that sweet. So I'm probably going to go with one sugar cube. I've made a few in the past. Actually, all of them I've made in the past have two. Today I'm just going to do one, just because I think it's a little too sweet. Make yours how you want to make yours, though. Let's see. Today we're going to be using Maker's Mark. It's our bourbon. This is really smooth stuff. It's not that expensive. Bang for your buck, you cannot beat Maker's Mark. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not saying it's the top of the shelves. However, for the bang for your buck, you cannot beat this product, this beverage. And I'm not sponsored by them or nothing like that. It just is what it is. I'm just speaking from experience. Very smooth, but, you know, a true bourbon. While we're on the subject of bourbons, this is not a bourbon. Jack Daniels is not a bourbon. It's not distilled with enough alcohol proof to be considered a bourbon. A lot of people get that misconstrued and think it is because it looks like it is and it's whiskey. There's actually quite a few whiskeys that people think are bourbons, but they're not. And this is one of the main corporates. Nothing against Jack Daniels. I think it's a great alcoholic beverage. Jack and Coke is great for that. It's great for hundreds of drinks. And it's actually a great substitute if you don't have any bourbon. It's the best substitute for a old fashioned that we're making today. So if you didn't have any bourbon on hand, I would recommend using some Jack Daniels. Good product, just not a bourbon. If it was a bourbon, we'd be using it today. In my opinion, this drink is best made with a true bourbon. I would not recommend making it with just any whiskey. It needs to be bourbon. And a main part of that is because of the alcohol volume. This is distilled 40% alcohol. It's 80 proof. This is 45 distilled volume of alcohol. So therefore it's going to be 90 proof. This is just straight bourbon. So not much difference in them. However, the taste does give it away. I don't know what other ingredients they add to make it a true bourbon, but you do taste the difference dramatically when you're making an old fashioned. Try it for yourself if you don't believe me. But like I say, you'll probably still like it with some Jack in it. There's nothing wrong with Jack Daniels. Just not my cup of tea when I'm making an old fashioned. I use it in a lot of drinks, but not old fashioned. Now we got that out the way, I want to go over one more thing before we get started. Brandy is also not a bourbon. Brandy is its own thing. Cognac is a form of brandy. Hennessy, cognac, same thing. So, nothing wrong with brandy. I wouldn't recommend using it in a old fashioned. However, if you don't have any bourbon on hand, once again, this is a decent substitute. And brandy's, like I say, it's good stuff. I wouldn't recommend old fashioned. And another thing I want to clear up, I noticed a lot of people think that VS stands for versus on the bottle. This one actually says it. It means very special. is what this means. And you'll see some cognac bottles with VSOP. Honestly, right now I can't remember what the OP part stands for, or VS. Very smooth. I know it stands for very smooth something. But tell me in the comment sections if you know. But that's what all that means. And I just wanted to clear all that up because there's a lot of misconception about what all that stuff means, and if brandy and whiskey are all the same. They're not. Close, but not the same. And if you're wondering, this is also 40% alcohol by volume. All right, now we got all that out the way. Let's get to making our drink. We've introduced our ingredients. Only thing I left out was the ice. Ice is an ingredient. I don't care what anybody says. You gotta have ice in it. Ice changes the drink as soon as it hits the liquid. All right, now let's introduce our utensils. You're gonna need your twister or mixing spoon. I call it a twister because really when you're using it, you're just twisting it. You're not stirring it. Stir spoon is what it's called, but I call it a twister. This, people have their own names for it. It has an official name, but I call it the grinder. You can grind with this in, or you can smash, hook smash, and then grind it in with this in, which is what I prefer to do. And I'll show you that in a minute. That's my favorite part, if you can tell. All right, and you're also going to need some tongs to grab your ice cubes with. And you're going to need either tongs, another set of tongs, or a scooper to get your ice out with. I think that covers all of our utensils we're going to need outside of a straw at the end. Another thing I want to go over before I get started, I used to do garnishes all the time at the end of my drinks, and old fashioned calls for a orange slice or orange half here in the cup. I don't believe in that no more. Oranges draw fruit flies, and I'll end up with a bunch of sliced up oranges laying around when I'm done making drinks. Next thing I know, fruit flies are buzzing around. I don't believe in it. So I end every old fashioned with a smidget bit of orange juice. Just a little dab, a dab will do you. And that's it. So, hate or love it, roast me in the comments. That's the way I'm doing it, and ain't nothing you can do about it. All right, let's get to it. All right, so now we're going to go ahead. Let me go ahead and get my orange juice out while we're talking about it. Go over here to my refrigerator. This is Tropicana. I recommend get you some oranges and squeezing them and getting the orange juice out. Get you a bunch of them, squeeze them, throw them away so don't get fruit flies. Squeeze them in a little jug like this. If you get a jug like this, keep it so you can, you know, get you some fresh orange juice in there, some fresh from the orange itself. To me, that's just better. Okay, all right, now we're going to start off with our simple syrup. 2 tablespoons of simple syrup. I've been pouring it long enough to know what 2 tablespoons is, or looks like. So you do what you think is best, and that wasn't very fancy. But you do what you think is best, and do it the way you want to do it. I just prefer to use 2 tablespoons, and that's about 2 tablespoons. All right, so like I say, you really don't need to change the ingredients on the old fashioned too much. You need to kind of stick to what works and what's always worked. It don't hurt to vary a little bit, but you don't want to change something dramatically in the old fashioned. The bitters and the sweets all cohere together to make a perfect drink, in my opinion. It's the perfect cocktails, or the closest I think mankind has came to a perfect cocktail. So we're going to go ahead and throw our bitters in. 1, 2, 3 or 4 dashes will do you. If you can't tell, I've had an old fashioned or 2 already today. All right, now we're going to drop our cube in. Like I say, if you're using a bigger glass or making a bigger serving, definitely recommend 2 cubes. The small ones like I use, but I guess the exact recipe calls for 1 medium-sized cube. but to me that's a little bit too sweet. All right, so now we're going to take our grinder, our Hulk smasher, and I'm going to heat it one time. Make sure I left all the goodness in there, all the sugar. The reason a lot of people you'll see will keep grinding it. I like to leave some grains in there. I don't want it all dissolved. I want to taste the grains when I'm sipping on my old fashioned. To me, it just makes it better. And you do it however you want to do it once again. But I just like the grains to come up while I'm drinking the old fashioned. All right. So now we got our simple syrup, our bitters, we got our sugar. And at this point, you can add your bourbon. However, I prefer to put ice in first. I don't think it really matters. That's just the way I've always done it. So I'm going to put my ice in, then I'll add my bourbon. And while we're on the subject, I want to just take a minute and say, I know this may seem like a slower video than most bartender videos you see. I am doing this slowly because I watch other bartenders speed through the process, and I have to pause, stop, rewind, and go back or whatever and see what they did and write down the ingredients and stuff like that. I want it to go slow, I want to go methodical, and I want you to see how to do it. Mistakes and all. I want everything out there, no hardcore editing. I just want you to see it in real time, and that way you can see that it's not that hard, especially an old-fashioned, really simple cocktail to make. But that's why I'm taking my time. I'm going to go slow. No need to be in a hurry. It is what it is. All right. So now we'll go ahead and grab some ice from our trusty ice maker. Those ice makers, by the way, they're like $110, maybe a little bit more than that, but well worth it. I got two of them. I got one in my other bar, and I got that one. Some of the best investments I ever made. You can't beat them. I mean, if you got a bar, you got to have an ice maker. And that thing is constantly making ice. It's quiet, and it's out of the way. It's small. It's good for a home bar. Of course, if you're running a big bar at like a restaurant or somewhere where people will come and going constantly, you would probably need 3 or 4 of those, or just a real big one, ice chest or something. But for a home bar, you cannot beat those. You just can't. All right. So now we've put our ice in there. Now we're on the clock, because once you add the ice, the beverage is now changing. That's why I prefer to put the bourbon in after the ice. But either way, it's still changing in there because the ice is added. Ice is an ingredient. Let nobody tell you differently. All right, so now we're going to add, I was going to do a freehand, but for the sake of the video, of course, we're going to use our jigger. We're going to add 2 ounces to the jigger. As you see, the alcohol makes up most of the drink on an old-fashioned. And that'll have you slur your speech. All right, so like I said before, I like to add just a dab of orange juice. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna say that for the very end. We're gonna go ahead and get our twister, aka stir spoon. And this is the proper way to stir a drink, or twist a drink actually. You want to put the back end of the spoon on the inside of the glass. You can do what you want to do, of course, but this is the proper way of doing it. If you're a bartender, you already know this, or somebody's been mixing drinks for a while, you already know this. But you want to put your spoon there, and you twist the spoon. That's why it's shaped the way it is. It's made to be twist, not stirred, but you twist. So it should be called a twist spoon, or a twister, or tornado. Where floats your boat. You got it all stirred up. We got it all stirred up. Didn't mean to blow your engine rolls. It's a new bar, still getting the acoustics worked out. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and add our OJ at the end, just like we would if we're adding a garnish. And check this out, a little bitty dab will do you. Woo! That's it. That's about all you're gonna get off an orange slice if you had it sitting there. So that's all I add. Just a little bitty dabber. All right. One last thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my straw. Done and done. Ladies and gentlemen, the old fashioned, the greatest drink, alcoholic drink of all times. See it in all its glory. I know you're supposed to have an orange on the side. I already covered that earlier, but this is the old fashioned. No garnish required. We're big boys here at the Bear Cave. We do it right. Let's see what we taste like though. Oh, that good. That good. That real good. Man. Maker's Mark is by far the best thing to make this with on a budget. So good. There you have it, folks. The old fashioned. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Please look out for each other and please drink responsibly. And until next time, I hope you and yours continue to be blessed.